Looking for a smart monitor for your vehicle with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and it's also a rear and front dash cam, then I may have found the product just for you. This is from Kapture. It's called the Smartdrive 702. It's easy to install into your car, and in this video, we're going to show you how. Okay, so we've actually unboxed the Kapture 702. I'm going to show you exactly what is inside the case, or what you actually get for your hard-earned cash. So first of all, you've got this one here. This is a 7-inch monitor. This is what's going to be your smart monitor for things like Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, as well as your rear and front dash cams. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more later on. You also get this rear dash cam as well, and it comes with 8 meters of cable, so you can connect it to the back of your vehicle. We have this adhesive mount here from 3M. And what that does is if you're going to attach your smart monitor to the dash of your car, you actually slot that inside this mount here, and then just put it straight onto your dash. It's also got these real handy little clip things here that is going to be used to connect to the back of the smart monitor. We're going to show you some more about that shortly. So this one here is your little adapter. It's magnetic. It attaches to the back of the smart monitor, and these little hooks fit onto the mount that we showed you before, and also onto the suction mount that is coming out. So this one here is your cable, or your power cable for your monitor. That's a USB-C, that connection there, and this one here plugs straight into the cigarette lighter of your car. And there's also an auxiliary cable as well. You also get a suction mount if you want to attach your smart monitor or directly to your windshield. This is what you're going to use. Once again, we've got that same kind of fitting system as we showed you before. It does come with this handy user manual, and of course, it also has this smart guide here. One thing that is not included in the kit is an SD card, and you're definitely going to need one of those. You can have SD cards or micro SD cards up to 256 gigabytes in your Kapture 702. This one here cost me about 50 bucks from JB Hi-Fi here in Australia. You might be able to get a cheaper one online. Make sure you get a good brand though. This one's Samsung. Another brand I really like is SanDisk. All right, so I spoke before about this awesome little mounting system with this cool little adapter here. I'm just going to show you how to put it on. It's pretty easy. I've got the suction mount in my hands right now. That's the one I'm planning to use. So what you want to do is you want to like line up this adapter here on the back of it, and you just want to put it over these little bumps here, these little things that kind of jut out. So you want to pop it on like that, and you just want to push it forward, and then you're going to hear how it's locked. So right now it's all kind of locked in there, and that's not going to move. As it's magnetic, it's got these 4 little magnets on here. That's now going to be used to connect to the back of the smart monitor. All right, so now I've got the little adapter attached to the suction mount. Here's the back of the smart monitor right here. And as you can see, it's got space there for those 4 magnets. It's also got these 2 little holes, or these little recesses in there. You want to line it up with the ones here on the back of this of the mount. Just slot it in like that, line it up, and in just a matter of seconds, it's all kind of clicked on, and that's totally magnetic, and that's not going to come off when you're driving along in your vehicle.
First of all, plug one end of your power cable into your cigarette lighter and the other end to the USB input on the side of your Kapture. Next, put your micro SD card into the slot on the side of the unit. Come look here on the side for a second. You can actually see how you have this dial here that you can actually adjust to move the arm if you need to, and this little one here as well too. You can use that to adjust your angle. Now once you take the cover off the suction mount, this is super sticky, right? So that's going to be affixed to your windshield. To adjust it, you just need to pull it back there to loosen it, as you can see, and then when you bring it forward, it's going to bring the unit nice and snug so it won't come off your windshield.
Okay, so we're in the car. It's stupidly hot, so probably best not to do this in the middle of the day like I'm doing it right now. But what we've done, we've actually attached the Kapture to the windshield right now, and I've actually got it all connected as I showed you earlier on in this video. To power on the unit, the ignition has to be turned on. It can be in accessory mode, which is where my one is right now. And once you do that, it comes up with this blue screen here. All right, so the first thing that you have to do, and there's a big sticker on front of the Kapture monitor screen, is you have to format the SD card. That's super simple to do. So from the main screen, you just need to press on the little settings cog down here on the bottom right-hand corner, tap on that. Then you want to use the screen to swipe to the right, and one of the options here says straight away, format SD card. So we're going to do that first of all, tap on that.
Once you hit confirm, wait a few seconds and then this message will appear.
So first of all, on your mobile device, so you have to choose which one you have. So for example, in my case, I have a Samsung phone, which is Android Auto. You go through a similar process if you had an Apple phone. So I'm going to tap on the Android Auto. It very clearly and very simply tells you how to go through the process to set up your Android Auto and connect it with the Kapture. So if you look here on the right of the screen, we'll go through it on my phone as well at the same time. So I'm going to go on my Samsung phone to settings. I'm going to hit connections, and then from connections, I'm going to tap on Bluetooth, right? And so I've got a whole bunch of crazy stuff there. Now the one I'm looking for has to have the letters KPT underscore WZ, or sorry, W72-ED2. Now it's actually appeared on my phone almost straight away, which is pretty awesome. I'm going to tap on that, and it's gone into pairing mode here. And on my phone it says, do you want to pair it? Yes, please, I'll pair it. And now it's actually pairing it with this device. And if I have a look here, it should be hooked up pretty soon. Okay, now it says it's connected, in my case, for calls and for audio, which is great. So now if I kind of go back over here to the main screen, it says, welcome to Android Auto, which I'm pretty excited about. And it says how it's going to turn on my Bluetooth and pair with my phone. It's going to sync my contacts too, which is great if I ever want to make a phone call, which is not really what I like to do. I'm more of a messages kind of guy. Okay, and now straight up, it's kind of hooked up with my started playing the Foo Fighters. Right now it's actually hooked up with my Google Maps straight away, which is fantastic. So I'm pretty happy about that. There you go. So I've got maps on my phone, Android Auto. It's kind of started there already, which is pretty sensational, isn't it? If you tap over here on the bottom right hand corner, it's going to bring up like the normal screen you'd see in like a regular, like a late model car when it comes to all the options that you can have with Android Auto. I've got my music over here, which I've got hooked up with Spotify, and I've got the Foo Fighters Pretender ready to play. And over here, we've got this green spot here that shows my Spotify there. There you go. It also has some other options here. So this one here is the brightness. So if I tap on that one again, this one here is like any photos I might have taken. It's a bit wacky. Let's get back to the main one. Back to Android Auto. And what else we got here? This top one there's the home button, and there's the volume button. Okay, so we've got a few different options there. We'll put it back on this one. This bottom one over here is your telephone one, so you can tap on that and it will show you any recent phone calls that you might have made, which is fantastic, and some phone numbers too. If you can even press the microphone to tell it what to play or who to call. Wow, don't even press the microphone. That's pretty wicked.
Tap the icon at the bottom right hand corner to return to the main Android Auto screen.
Tap onto that one and it brings up our other options. We've got Messenger there as well, reminders, podcasts. Man, this is actually pretty sick, right? That's got a lot of fun stuff there. Oh, even games, on the news as well. Alrightio, so once you've actually hooked up your Apple CarPlay or your Android Auto, let's take a look at some of the options here that are available to you on the Kapture 702. So first of all, down here, this button over here on the far right, if we tap on that, it says screen off. It turns your screen off. Tap it again to turn it back on. This one over here is your audio input. This is where you get to choose what audio source that you want to have for things coming through your Kapture 702. So on the far left, we have the unit itself, which actually has pretty crappy sound, so don't use that. You have car audio too, if you want to connect it to your stereo system, or the way that I've got mine set up today is through an FM frequency that I picked out on my FM radio. And auxiliary is if you want to link it up to your, I will connect it up to the auxiliary input on the side of the unit and hook it up to a speaker. Now the other options over here on the right hand side, we have a bit of a look and see what else is going on. So the top there, that red button, that means it's recording now. This one here means it's hooked up to Android Auto in my case. That one means you've got a memory card. This one here means that it's also running on your system correctly. Up here in the corner we have the home button. You can press that to get back to this screen at any stage. Over here on the right hand side we have the brightness. You tap on that and you can see how you can actually make it brighter or make it less bright just by running your finger along it. This second one here is the one that corresponds with that one up the top there as well. So that one just sort of tells you what your audio option is that you've chosen. The next one down here is the camera, and this one here actually kind of shows you the view from your cameras. So currently I don't have the back one working, I just have the front one operating, so we can see the view out of the front. If you want to get the full screen view, just swipe it across, and then now we've got the full view of what's being recorded by the camera at the front. So down the bottom here we have our options like we showed you earlier on before. That's for locking, that one's for your camera. If we tap on that one there, just took a photo just for the hell of it. And this one here is going to bring you back to your home screen, and this one here is going to take you to your Android Auto or your Apple CarPlay option. You can tap this circle here on the right hand side too. That brings up this menu here which has home, your audio option, brightness, and the photos one. There we are before, and this one down the bottom here means you can turn your audio on or off. And the bottom one here is settings. Let's have a look at settings. This settings screen has heaps of awesome options on here. The first one over here on the top left is playback. We tap on that one. That's going to give you your options so you can play back video or any photos or any locked videos that you might have recorded. So if we tap the first one there, this one here now brings up a list of videos that we have recorded today. So for example, the top one here says today's date, which is the 1st of January 2024. It has the time and it has CH1, and that stands for channel 1, and that means the front camera. The one beneath it has CH2, and that is for your rear camera. So if I want to play it back, I just got to tap on it like so, and it's going to play the footage over here on the screen. All right, so we can get out of here by just using the arrow. The one beneath it has the photo. So the photograph we took a moment ago, you can just tap on that one and that'll bring up the photograph in just a jiffy. Actually, that's the photo from the rear of the car. This is the one from the front of the car. Now, if you want to get rid of it, it's super easy. Just press on the trash can. It says it wants to check that you definitely want to delete it. So we're going to hit on confirm, and that's just got rid of that photograph. So resolution here, this is where you get to choose between 720 or 1080p. 1080p is HD, so we'll stick with that one. The next one has loop recording. This is where you get to choose the length of or time that your video is looping for. I've got mine at the highest setting of 5 minutes. Next one here is G sensor. G sensor is currently set to middle. The G sensor stands for like gravity sensor basically. And if your car is moved violently in any way, like say through impact or something sort of whacks into it, it will start recording. Next one here is audio recording, so you can turn audio on or off like we had before. I've got mine on. This one over here is touch sound, so you can actually have a sound come on as you touch different parts of the screen. If I change that setting there, so now if I, that one didn't quite work, but that's okay. Auto dimming, that gives you options for the time of day that you wish for the brightness of the screen to change. Pretty self-explanatory. Auto LCD off, so you can actually choose to have the screen like always on, like I've got it, or you can change it to 1 minute or 3 minute. Reverse guidelines, that's more if you are have got the rear camera all hooked up, or even more so if you go to say an auto electrician and they connect your rear gearing system in your vehicle to to this unit, and by doing that you'll be able to see things on the screen when you reverse. Date and time is here as well. It's very important to make sure that's correct and up to date. We'll swipe it to the right. Swipe it to the right. Over here on the far left, we've got micro SD card. We tap on that one there, it tells you how much space is actually available on the card and the size of the card. So I've got a 256 gigabyte micro SD card in there right now. Tap on this to bring it back. Format SD, if you want to totally wipe all the footage off your card, you come into this screen here. That's what we had to use when we first set up the unit. And over here is factory reset. So if you want to put it back to factory settings. And the last one over here is the firmware version. All right, so we've got the unit all attached to the windshield right now. And if we have a look here on the side, you can see how we've got two connections. The bottom one there is the one which is plugged to the cigarette lighter, and the top one is goes to the rear camera at the back. So what I've done to make it look tidy is I've actually grabbed these two leads, and I'll get a zip tie shortly to make that look nicer. But I've actually used this tool that comes with it. Unfortunately mine's kind of broken, I got a bit excited. And I've actually put the cable up here like along the rim of the roof, if you can just see it under there. So by just poking it along there, and then up here like along the edge of the strut here on the door, I've actually poked it along the side, all the way like along here, down the side, and you can see here down the bottom, I've actually run it here underneath the glove box. A little bit of cable there, and putting it like along the floor, running it along the edge here, so that way it's going to go to the cigarette lighter. In the case of the rear camera, or some lighting there, with the rear camera I've done something kind of similar, also followed it along to the edge, but this time I actually kind of run it like along the rim here of the vehicle, all through there, and then here along the edge, just down there with my handy tool, pushed it in, and there it is going down towards the boot of the car.
Several months later.
Okay, so a few weeks have passed since I first installed the Kapture Dashcam monitor into my little Mazda 2, and I've made a couple of changes in that time that I want to share with you right now. So come on, let's go check it out. All right, so in the car here, notice how it's nice and clean, by the way. One thing I did forget to mention to you before in the earlier parts of this video is if you want to turn it off, there's a button up here, top of the screen here. You can just press that and hold that down, and that will shut it down for you. Oops, supposed to shut it down. There you go. Press it down once again to turn it back on, and it'll come back on for you. So that's a really kind of handy feature if you want to turn your Kapture off. One thing I've also done too is, as you can see here, I've got some little cable tie kind of things to wrap around the cable. This one here is for the rear screen or the rear camera, and this one here is the one that powers the unit. So I've actually run the cable here up to underneath the roof, and it runs along here. You can see a little bit of it poking out there. Then it runs around the side like I showed you earlier on the video. And to make it all nice and tidy, what I've done, I've actually tucked it underneath where the glove box is, and right here in the corner, if you look very carefully, you can actually see where I've actually connected the original cable to my extension lead. My extension lead I've then kind of tucked around the back of this bit of plastic here inside the car. Admittedly, it's not perfect, but it's given me a bit more length and a lot less tension, and that's just going to run all the way down here to my cigarette lighter. All right, so another big thing I've done too is I've actually installed the rear camera, or actually got it totally hooked up the way that I liked it. I had to get a professional guy to come in and hook it up for me. So I'm just going to show you right now on the Kapture how it looks now we have both cameras operating. If you're on the icon down the bottom here, this one over here is going to bring up our menu options. So we've got home, we've got the radio settings, we've got brightness, and over here we have our camera settings. So now you can see here on the left-hand side, I've got the front camera, and on the right-hand side, although it's a little bit fisheye, I do have the rear camera. If you want to see the full display, you just got to swipe it over, and there's the front camera, full view of that. So it's showing you everything it's capturing. And if I swipe it all the way, this is showing what the rear camera is capturing. So as I mentioned earlier, I had to get some help from a professional to help me mount the rear camera exactly where I like it. And right now, I'm just going to show you how it's been affixed to the rear windshield, or just above the rear windshield of my little Mazda 2. Okay, so what my professional mate has done is he's actually like grabbed all the cable that I actually tucked under here, and he's fed it through this little rubbery tube. So it comes under the back here of the car, and then there's the cable there, and that leads to the rear camera. With its big old 7-inch screen, its compatibility with both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and the fact that here in Australia it comes in at around about $350, there's a lot to like about the Kapture 702. But what did you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this dash cam and whether it's the kind of thing that you would consider purchasing. To learn more about things like dash cams and action cameras and all that kind of jazz here on this channel, what you want to do is you want to click on this video over here right now. As usual, thank you for your company this afternoon. I do appreciate it. And until next time, I will see you later.